Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi, thank you for joining us today for our Foundation Friday program. We take this time to kind of go back in time and look at some of the wisdom as taught by our founding parents, mothers and fathers. And today we are going to visit the wisdom of Myrtle Fillmore, who, with her husband, co-created the Unity movement, which has become Unity as we know it today. This is taken from a book that was published in 1936, and it's a series of letters that she wrote over time. We are looking at Myrtle's lessons on no incurable disease. And for those of us who know her story, she actually cured herself from a fatal disease, a series of sicknesses and ailments that we believe may have been tuberculosis, as we understand it today, but her healing was very well documented. She went from only months to live to a long and prolific life that really changed the world for a whole lot of people. So that's my talk on the letters of Myrtle Fillmore, and we will now share her writings on no incurable disease. And you'll notice she writes with authority on this topic. So here goes. There is no such thing as a disease or incurable condition in the system. These activities or weaknesses or abnormalities to which the medical profession gives names are but the efforts of the God-given inner intelligence to deal with conditions that the individual has produced by his failure to understand the truth and to recognize himself as the perfect child of God and to live by the divine law of life. Anything that does not measure up to the Christ pattern of perfection can be changed. Anything that the ideas of God mind expressing in the mind of man has not produced can be dissolved into the original nothingness by the understanding application of the power of spiritual thought and the resulting spiritual action. Doctors, of course, judge by appearances, founding their opinions upon the study of effects and drawing their conclusions from the outworking of these mistakes which the patients have made. No one who has awakened spiritually and is seeing the threefold being in the light of truth would speak of disease as something of itself. He would not think for a moment that the mind was fixed in old race beliefs or errors, nor that his body was unresponsive to the spirit. So when anyone comes to us who has had a doctor diagnose his case, we ask him to turn deliberately from the doctor's opinions and verdict and cease even to think of the name he gave to the condition that existed at the time of the examination and treatment. We ask him to cast out and forget the assumption that this condition would not be changed and done away with utterly, just as one would refuse to hold and think of some unworthy and untrue thing that he might have heard spoken as he walked down the street. Then he is to begin at once to rejoice that he is the offspring of God, that the life and substance of his body are the perfect pattern of life and body that are gifts of God, gifts that are in reality inseparably one with his own being, the very essence of God life and God substance and God intelligence. It is God's plan, you know, to have the creation picture forth, express his own ideas, qualities, and beings. And it is our purpose in being here to become conscious of and to express in our life the true pattern and qualities of our Father, Mother. We know very well that God would not create a man with imperfections and shortcomings and diseased conditions. But we know also that he could not create automations without free will and the privilege of exercising their powers of sonship. Just as we give our children in our own thought of them and in our endeavors to have them live as they should, that they may come forth clothed perfectly, the best we can conceive, and then permit them to unfold their powers and faculties and their body temple as the inner intelligence and life prompt. We give them the best instruction we have to offer, of course, but if we are wise, we permit the spirit within them to develop the soul, that it may express the individual gifts. So, we accept the God-given perfection. We wave aside the past mistakes and untrue suggestions and fix undivided attention upon the Creator and the inner pattern of perfection. In this lies the success of spiritual treatment. We bring all the mental attitudes and centers of consciousness and even the physical structures to this place, high place in mind, where we see as God sees, and where we name all that is within us according to the patterns and uses for which these soul qualities and their outpicturing have been created. Then we prayerfully consider all our living habits to get a better understanding of their purposes and to know whether or not they are really according with the divine law of health. We consider whether or not we are worrying or fearing anything. We look back of the conscious mind to the realm of the subconscious or memory to determine whether there is anything that took place in the past that is continuing a disturbing influence through the unconscious expressions of mind. Much of the habit side of life is made up of these past experiences and trainings. Many things we do daily are not consciously thought, but are the continuation of something impressed upon us long ago. Okay, that was the first letter. And like I said, Myrtle speaks with high authority on this. Some of what was expressed in that love letter, I think, can be very helpful and healing, but some of it, I think, can be a little bit disheartening or even hurtful. The idea that we have created something horrible that we are dealing with is sometimes a very shaming idea, a very guilt-provoking idea. And the reality is, some of what we've gone through or are going through may be the reason that we decided to manifest physically in the first place. For some soul purpose or higher purpose, we may be here to walk through, die from, or heal different maladies or situations for some reason that we can't really understand in physical form. And the reason I'm saying this is if you're walking through a challenge, any guilt and shame that you are carrying is going to amplify whatever it is you're going through. Any pain, excuse me, any pain you have, if you feel like you did this to yourself, it's going to amplify and intense the negative things that you're feeling and walking through. If instead you can just accept whatever it is, okay, so this is what I'm dealing with today. I'm going to have my best day and live my best life. I really liked what Myrtle said in this last letter about take away the name of whatever that condition is. There are some conditions that just the name can create fear and panic and dread and even a sense of foreboding or giving up. If we take that name out of it and just work with what we have. Today, I am working on healing my tiredness, and this is how I'm going to do it. I think we'll see wonderful results in improving our way of life and even healing the conditions that we've been labeled with. Okay, not that my words should carry any more weight than our co-founders, but hopefully we've got just a little different perspective that we can make our own and help us as we heal or avoid situations that we need no part of. Here is the next letter as written by Myrtle Fillmore. So we rejoice and remember that we have the God power to change conditions, the God love to express Christ likeness, and we work lovingly and diligently with whatever we find in ourselves or in our environment. Keeping the attention centered in the Christ mind, we are able to see beyond the appearances to the impulses of the soul, which is always urging us in our efforts to make use of what God has given us. And to the degree that we let Christ be lifted up, in the same degree shall we rid ourselves of that which we may have been pronounced incurable, or may have seemed to us a disease that is incurable. Let us more and more remember that which Jesus Christ said, with God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. And let us listen until we hear within, is anything too hard for Jehovah? Genesis 18:14. Any thought that is not based upon the eternal reality, truth, really has no existence to us at all. So if we believe in disease, we are believing in something that has no substance or reality. When we dissolve the belief out of our mind and in its place establish the realization of the one presence and one power of good and exercise our faith in health as the one presence and power within us, we shall feel the conviction that we are the expression of the health that God is. This powerful conviction of oneness with divine wholeness will become abiding. Nothing can take it from us. God is love, and his love has cast out of the mind and heart all fear. There is no room for doubts and fears because God, as love and health, reigns supreme in us. We set to work to change any and everything that we may find that does not measure up to the best that our new light shows us. We know that it is of much more importance to change and do that which is really best for our progress and our health than to be smugly consistent or to make the excuse that we have always done a thing and it is too late to change now. The moment we discover something undesirable in our mind or our life, we should seek to make the changes necessary to bring the desirable into manifestation. Wow, I like that reading a lot. What I got out of that letter is it's important to us to affirm our health and healing. Talk about all the things we can do instead of the things that we can't. Be aware that we can draw from all health, all healing, all love as we bring ourselves to express more Christ presence into the world. So that's our foundation topic for today, Letters from Myrtle Fillmore. Please let us know in the comments what you thought, what you felt. Any and all comments are answered and appreciated. We love to hear from you. If you're not yet a subscriber, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps us and it'll help you. If you hit that little bell on YouTube when you subscribe, you'll also be alerted every time another one of our videos pops up. Thank you for being with us today. But before you go, please know you matter. You are sacred and you are so, so very loved. That's true. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.